Good evening and welcome to Off the Line Racing. It is time for round one of the highly anticipated season 4 on the brand new game F1 25. And today we get our season opener started and underway over at the mighty sunny Sakhir in Bahrain with its 15 turn 5.412 kilometre long circuit and 3 DRS zones. 3 chances you can slip on by with that rear wing open if you burn a bit of that battery. Known for its high octane racing, plenty of places for overtaking, but that tyre degradation, you have to be careful and keep your eyes open. My name is Corey Brooks, one of your two commentators for this evening. Join with me in the booth once again. You'll see him for the rest of the season. It's Ryan Hurren. How are we doing, my friend?
Good, thank you. Looking forward to it. Bahrain's one of the tracks that I've had quite a bit of experience on this game, so at least I know what we should expect. Of course, uh, not racing at as high a level as myself, but yeah, I think we're in for an interesting race. One, as per what we've heard from yesterday, all about the strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. A blinder strategy thrown out there by Thompson ended up winning in Division 2. Although your pole sitter and the driver who took the fastest lap, the KFC bloke, struggling to pull out that needed strategy, said he did make a strategic failure, said it in the chat in Division 2. But that is just what we're going in for here. Pole time at 27.8, I believe, in Division 2. So these drivers looking to beat that by at least a second. I hope we should see 26s we should see from the Division 1 boys. But we are getting ready to get underway for qualifying. The drivers are readied up. 15 drivers joining us on the grid tonight, missing out on just 5 drivers. But that's not to say that these 15 can't give you a mighty fine battle all the way through this Grand Prix down to the checkered flag. But 18 minutes of qualifying is about to get underway. Ryan, any words on that?
I mean, Bahrain, luckily for those who might not qualify well, it's got plenty of overtaking opportunities, but yeah, still imperative to qualify up at the front.
Absolutely. We're not going to keep you waiting any longer. We are about to get underway for 18 minutes of qualifying. Stay tuned because the weather's nice and sunny as you always expect here in Bahrain. So here we are. Who's going to be the first person to the tarmac? This is what I'm interested to see. Who's going to brave it and go out straight away while we wait for the track evolution to get going?
See, the thing with Bahrain is, well, the thing with just qualifying in general on this game is people don't tend to go out immediately, although I do see movement in the McLaren garage of Marius Anderson. And I think we've got an Aston Martin and a Mercedes coming out as well. So I stand corrected with what I say.
Yeah, Boss Moss is
But
straight out, and so is the kick salver. That's Cooper.
yeah, I'm just getting all my telemetries up. But yeah, the Sauber of Cooper, who did he race last week? I think he raced last
I
week.
think he did. I think he there was at pre-season. See some returning drivers. You may have seen him on the grid at pre-season, but wasn't so much of the main drivers. We did have to see Division 2 reserve drivers into that showed great pace in the Division 2 pre-season race. So they did fill in the Division 1 race and did show some good pace. But again, the separated divisions for a reason. They weren't quite up to scratch with fighting these Division 1 boys, but they still give it their best efforts and was a mighty fine pre-season race, I believe. Oh, it's
Yeah, I mean,
Monza, I think.
Monza, yeah. Only 13 drivers in the preseason, but again, it was really entertaining race. We didn't even realise it was the final lap when they came across the line. So
Yeah,
I'm sure with 15, it can be just as good.
yeah, absolutely. We are early days into the season, though. Don't forget, still drivers are getting themselves used to it. So maybe when they feel a bit more inclined, still getting used to these new grid limits. The game is different, but not too different. I've got to say, the cars are heavier. That's certainly a fact. Understeer central and the dirtier, as we know from what you've seen so far, the dirtier has been abysmal for some drivers. A Cooper fan now crosses the line and will be the first driver to set that benchmark time.
Yeah, Cooper fan heading in towards turn 1 now. It's the heaviest braking zone on the circuit. Slight lockup, still manages to get the car turned in through the left-hand kink of turn 2, which on previous games has had very little grip. It is a very common place for people to spin out up towards turn 4. He can go a lot wider on the entry, but again, it's just a bank lap, keeping it nice and nip and tuck on the exit as well through 5, and then the fast chicane of 6 and 7 as well, which if you get the angle right is flat out on this game through the long right-hander of turn 8. and towards the incredible corner, turn 9 into 10, which is one of the trickiest braking zones in F1. Got to get it right. Got to just about hit the apex. You don't want to hit the curbs too much, though. Riding the curbs does cost you a lot of time on this circuit. And now towards the long, sweeping left-hander of 11, keeping it nice and tidy. It looks like it's on rails, this car. Through turn 12, which on previous games, of course, has had issues with the inside curb, just causing cars to catapult off. And through 13 and down a straight that I think should also have DRS. If Singapore can have 4 DRS zones, so can Bahrain. But into the final 2 corners, this is actually 2, and not Boss Moss, Cooper fan will come up to the line now.
Across it is that quick time, faster than Division 2 pole time, 27.6, already off to a good start. And that Mercedes of Boss Moss coming down. He's going into the pits. He's not happy with that lap. But K. Joe does improve and take the fastest lap so far. 27.4, the time to beat. McLaren coming down towards the line. Is that Marius Anderson? You're damn right it is. Sets himself up there onto the second row with PW Jones as well. PW Jones in the 28, so struggling there by a couple of tenths time. Ratty jumps up to P4 with another good time. Separated there goes the Ferrari up into P4 to knock Ratty down to 27.8. Everybody's getting very, very close now. Quite a few drivers in the 27s, which is a bit quicker than I expected. I thought we'd see a few more 28 times as we see some more drivers come down towards the line. Juni crosses the line, goes up to P3, so 27.6. Mighty strong lap opening for the bank of time as the Aston Martin of Hacko comes down towards the line, and he was only good enough for P9. Next is Ghost to go across the line. That's P6. And then Lawrence Patton smashes the pole time by a tenth and a half to 27.3. Time to beat so far.
A brilliant starting laps. I think the next car to complete a lap will be Julian Prince in the Williams. I've just seen him bouncing over the curbs at turn 10. But already we've got the top 6 either on par or ahead of the Division 2 pole time. We'll say, though, PW Jones, I'm surprised that he's only on a 28.2 at the minute. Seems a bit further down. He had a brilliant showing in the pre-season. Julian, it's looked a scruffy lap from what I've seen of Julian, and just invalid on the exit of 13. It's an easy place to do it. I've done it many a time myself.
Yeah, I agree. He's just caught himself a bit out there, a little bit wide. He may be running too much on the apex, asking too much of the car. He's running wide again, though. Is he having braking issues here, Julian Prince? Some form of issue slowing that car down. I can only wait and find out. We'll go on board with the V-carb of, I can only presume it's Baron, because it's BXRRON. So I'm going to call you Baron from here on out. It was set a good purple sector 1, so it seems. It stayed on for quite a while. It wasn't just a flash for a personal best, but we'll wait to find out what the V-carb has got to offer. Full-time driver here. We'll take a look at the driver lineup when we get to our normal standard lobby restart. Get the collisions turned back on. As you know, qualifying has been known to have its collisions turned off, and that is how we do it.
Yeah, I mean, this good old Xbox username with Baron, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you couldn't always get an A in there, so you had to do an X. I remember my old ones like that. And purple again for the V-carb. Oh! Invalid on the inside of turn 13. So not seen as often as doing it on the exit, but yeah, unfortunate there.
Just trying to cut in a bit too early, innit? Anticipating the understeer, I think, and it just didn't happen. That car gripped up right when he didn't need it to. Because I know a lot of drivers, they'll turn early, because these cars now, in this game cycle, prone to understeer. They'll anticipate that and get the car to slide into the turn, especially in qualifying, when they don't need to worry about saving tyres. They're just going to send it, anticipate that understeer, let it slide around the corner, and then get the power back down when they can get on the exit. And it just seems like he's just anticipated it a bit too much and ended up running a little bit too close to the limits, and that's an invalidation. Hilly will be the next driver to give us a lap.
Boss Moss.
Oh, Boss Moss even. The Mercedes is ahead.
Yeah. Into turn 10. See, that's how you need to take the curbs. You don't hit the inside curb, but you just graze it and keep it as tight as you can. I got coaching around this track, and the coach kept on shouting at me every time I hit that curb.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
afford to lift the car up and unsettle it. You want to try and keep it as flat as possible, especially 9 and 10. Coming down there, trying to steer and brake, you're asking a lot of the car. You're really pushing grip limits, and see a lot of drivers just lock up and understeer, go straight on, and really run wide down that hill section into 10. It's very easy done. But again, beautifully done by Bossmoss. He's going to power down towards the line. He's going to set this time. Is it a pole time? It's not, but it's good for the back end of the second row.
Yeah, next over the line will be Hilly, who's just coming down towards turn 14, which is passing the Williams of Julian Prince. And the Alpine now will put pedal to the metal. And I think it's going to be a mid 27, I think. Or yeah, 27.8. P7 on the road, matching, well, roughly matching the Division 2 pole time. And I think, is it the Hasses or... Oh, Cooper fan who will be next over the line. Currently 2/10 up on his time.
Oh, jump on board of Cooper as he does get himself around 11 to keep himself flat to the floor around 12. And let's see how he fares with turn 13. Now, that is a 3.5 improvement as he hits that sector 2 split. He's now flat to the floor, deploys a little bit of the battery, as I suspect, just to get that exit a little bit more where he wants it. Get the power and the traction out of the corner, down to 14 and 15. The double right-hander left to go. And now he burns what left of the battery he's got to just get it all to the line, and he crosses it for pole position by just 18 thousandths of a second. But Lawrence is starting his second flying lap to respond to Cooper here and now. But as we look towards Joe, the Aston Martin, who has been pole in pre-season and was looking, I think he won in pre-season as well, go into the pits with an invalidation. Next we'll see he's had an Alpine down towards the line. PW Jones does not improve too far. The Ferrari coming down, is that glitch 10? It is indeed up to P3. McLaren's next, down goes 1. Marius Anderson, I think, to start his lap. As well as the other. Ratty to start his lap as well.
It's Julian Prince next over the line to set his first lap of the session. It's a 27.7. So that's a 27.7 to go P7.
Yeah,
a lot of sevens in there.
I think, is that Lawrence coming round? It's not, it'll be Gorse. So Gorse is the first has to come back around. And the Red Bulls are on out laps, and that V-Carb also on an out lap, being the only V-Carb running in this Grand Prix. Being 5 drivers down.
Ghost is down on this time at the minute. He was 10th down to the Sector 2-3 split. So I wonder if there's going to be an improvement here, or if he might just peel off into the pits to ensure that he has enough time to go for a final run.
He's going to set it.
Now. Yep, gonna commit to the time, and 12 milliseconds down on an improvement. But can Lawrence Patton improve up to provisional pole? It's a 27 flat, almost 3/10 clear for Lawrence Patton.
Absolutely no doubt in my mind that lap was coming together. He was perfectly comfortable on his banker, and then he comes out to just find a couple more tenths. But will we see that 26 time break? I was expecting to see it. But will it come? I don't know. Final runs maybe? Final runs when they burn all that fuel off and they're running with literally just a lap?
Not sure, but the McLarens have both just improved. Marius Anderson up to 5th and Ratty up to 9th as Hacko goes P6 in the Aston Martin as well. So brilliant lap there for Hacko.
Hacko put the time together when needed. William Jonas invalidated.
So Baron has his chance at redemption here. Coming towards the final corners. It's looking decent. It's definitely a 27 at least by the looks of things. We'll see where the Racing Bulls car can line up on the grid. Ooh. It wasn't even a 27 in the end. It was a 28 flat.
Barely scraping it. Barely scraping it.
34 milliseconds behind PW Jones, the reigning Division 2 champion. And who's next? Is it Dune NY? I think it is.
Dune NY is coming down. He's got 2 turns to go. Oh my god, that's the second time I've seen that Red Bull have an absolute tank slapper on that back end. But Keijo has started a lap, so I'm going to jump on board with this to see if we may have a contender for pole position. Onto the brakes into turn 1, collected well, gets on the throttle nice and early to try and get all that power together to propel him up towards turn 4. Getting out of turn 2 is crucial to set yourself up for turn 4. You need to really maintain all your momentum and gain all that speed as you come to finish sector 1. Barely up on the Delta time. I don't know if the improvement's going to come now. Does he have enough time to get himself back into the pits and go again if he's unhappy with this lap? But he is coming around the infamous turn 8, which can see you spin up the rear tyres and get yourself pointing in the wrong direction if you're a bit too happy on that throttle. 9 and 10. Very, very careful. Just taking quite a bit of the curb there, cutting over it as much as possible out of turn 10 and now flat to the floor, aided with DRS. Down towards turn 11, fires it round the left-hander, the long left-hander, flat to the floor, up towards turn 12, keeping his foot pinned all the way around before he finishes that sector 2, and he's barely a tenth up on the Delta, so maybe contention for the second row if he can put this lap together. He's only got 2 corners to go to gain any sort of time. Any 10th, 100th or 1000th will matter and will mean the difference between front or second row at this point. He's on a 27.4 and he was almost a 10th up, but he's not happy and he's going back in. He's going to conserve the time. He's going to get a fresh set on and then go for one more run. So if there was more improvement there, I think KJ would have set the lap, but he's not happy there, so he's diving into that pit lane.
Yeah, he needed to either set a good lap there or pit. If he went to the line then, he would not have had enough time to make it back around to go again. And again, it was marginal improvement. It's only a 10th that would not even have seen him up to... It would have still had him P4, I think, that amount of improvement. So I think he made the right call. And we've got Cooper Fan and Glitch 10 both on what I assume is their final flying laps.
Yeah, on board with Cooper as he'll be leading it away over Glitch 10. Glitch just there getting into sector 2 as Cooper starts his sector 3. Just dispatched to turn 13, flat to the floor, down to the final double right-hander of 14 and 15. If there's any improvement to come, now is the time, Cooper. Does he have the time to dive into the pits? Will he dive into the pits? Yes, he will. Yeah. We've seen it before. I wonder if Glitch 10 will follow the same suit if the improvement's not coming that he wants. He's a 10th and a half up.
Yeah, he's about a 10th and a half up, and at this point, it's already too late for Glitch 10 now, I think. With how much time it takes to get in the pits and then, you know, change your stuff and then the animations to get back out, he'd have maybe 5 seconds margin by the time he leaves the pit lane. But, yeah, Glitch 10 now into the final 2 corners. And the Scarlet Ferrari powers towards the line. And where can he line up on the grid? It's provisional pole with a 1:26.8.
Oh, wow. Good lap there from Glitch 10. Has anybody got a response to that as he takes provisional pole? They're in the 26s. We hope to see it, and we certainly have. There it is, 26.8. What a lap from the Scarlet Ferrari. And maybe we see a Ferrari on top in this session.
Potentially, it'd be nice to see given their performances in real life, but... I'm trying to think, who will be the first car? I'm so...
Let me get back in my seat.
Right?
Oh! Apologies.
Yeah. I don't know if Cooper's going to make it out or not.
I think he's out.
Oh, yeah.
He's
out, yeah.
He's out.
My camera was focused on the pit lane, so I couldn't actually see him. But it will be Bahrain, who is the first car to start their final flying lap, obviously excluding Glitch 10, who could well be doing a cooldown to then push again.
Well, he's not deploying the battery there. He has the time to go again. Or does he? By a fraction, it's going to be tight. It's going to be close if he doesn't push. He's going to have to push with no deployment because he's already in the 117s and where he is on the track, I don't know, it's going to be last second. We'll go on
the Baron's on a lap. I'm on about Glitch 10.
All right. No, Baron's not on a lap. Baron's not on a lap. He's not deploying. Flashing light. He's invalid. He's not pushing. He's got a minute to get back around the circuit.
He completely chopped turn 6. I don't know about the legality of that to just completely cut a corner.
Yeah, that's not allowed to make it to the line. If you are cutting corners, then you will be penalised. Bear that in mind. I'm head steward, so I'm watching you. I'm watching you, Wazowski. Hilly into sector 2. We'll stay on board with this driver, as I think he is going to be the one to take us away with the first time, because Baron's not doing it. Julian Prince has dropped it. He's out. Julian Prince has crashed out on his final flying run. He'll stay P10th, or if not, drop lower if there's any improvement to come from them bottom 5, as everybody's to the tarmac. Everybody's trying to improve. So we could see Julian Prince drop to the back end if Malcolm Jonas can pull out half a second.
Potentially we could, and I definitely think there's half a second in there, given how tight the field was in Monza. But Baron makes it to the line by less than a second.
Oh my word.
So we saw the same thing with Cooper last week. Was it Cooper? I think it was Cooper.
Yeah, down to
Yes,
the
it was.
last second, yeah. Here comes Hilly, improves to P9.
So P9 for Hilly. Next will be Jay Ghost, who is currently about 2.5 tenths up. So we'll be ahead of Julian Prince, and this is just going from bad to worse for the Williams. As Ghost up to the line, so it's a 27.6. Then it's going to be Ratty, who's set so 27.5 to go P6.
Okay, Joe. Oh! Barely breaking Cooper's time.
Malum up to P6 for Malum Jonas. PW Jones only P14. Marius Anderson P4. Lawrence is pitted. That leaves Bossmos next over the line, who goes P6. Can Cooper fan take pole position off of Glitch 10? No.
And Hako
jumps to P4.
Right, it's Dooney. Dooney is the last one to come towards the line, and he's a 10th.5 down, so he says that I've jumped on board with him. So I don't think we're going to see an improvement there. No, we're not. A 10th down as he crosses the line, and that's it. Julian Prince barely stays out at the bottom of the grid after DNFing. PW Jones, unlike him seen down there in P14, has not had the qualifying he wanted. Baron's out. He's last on the grid as well. That's it. We're done for quali.
Interesting at the end of that. I mean, Baron, I think, spawned on his final lap after pushing to the line. Lawrence invalidated, he says in the chat, so...
Glitch 10 will Paul. Lawrence invalidating, or could have contended for pole away from Glitch 10, but Glitch 10 with a 26.8 sets that pole position time. Lawrence P2, Cooper P3, Hako, Marius Anderson, Kjo, Boss Moss, Marion Jonas, Ratty, and June finishing at your top 10 in qualifying, followed by Hilly, Ghost, Julian Prince, PW Jones, and Baron doing the 15 drivers on the grid. Interesting, interesting.
PW Jones is P14, set a 27.8, which was the Division 2 pole time.
Yes.
There's only one driver in the session behind that, and that one driver, I don't think, ever got a proper push lap in.
No, I struggled did Baron all the way through it, but no, I'll bring you back to the commentator's corner. You get back to look at our lovely faces while we go through our standard lobby restart. We'll just have a quick little chat and we get the collisions turned back on. Julian Prince binned it. Yeah, we saw. Unfortunate, my friend. If you could have improved, it was to be or not to be. Was it butter? No, can't believe it's not butter.
Oh God, when is it I've heard the commentary? I can't believe it's not butter before.
The Sidemen versus Thingy charity match.
When Josh scored.
In Mini-Minter, it was I think it was Sketch saved Mini-Minters. Sketch saved Mini-Minters penalty, and he says I can't believe it's not butter.
Was, yeah.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. That's where it's stuck in my head. I can't believe it's not butter. That Sketch absolutely pulling a blind down and saving a penalty. Crazy stuff. But I'm just watching everybody crash out now. Do you know what? You can all see it with me.
Woohoo! We've got quite a few people that have survived turn 1, actually.
This is normally what happens on our standard restarts, cars in the wall.
Grosjean part 2.
Glitch 10's gone. There goes the Mercedes. Cooper goes. Marion Jonas is going to take P1 and then crash himself out.
I heard the Sauber hit the wall under the camera. That was brilliant.
I think Marion Jonas is doing a Jesus take the wheel. He did.
Yeah.
And there we have it.
Always the fun part, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But now we can take a quick little look at the calendar of what is to come here in Off the Line Racing. So we start off round one in Bahrain. Now, next week you join us in somewhere that's been a bit controversial in the previous game. But in this game, we're going to try it, see how we feel. Las Vegas, heading over to the USA for round two. That's going to be an interesting one. I don't know how the racing's going to be with that mighty long DRS straight. I don't know if we're going to see gaps open up or whatnot, if they can get the moves done early and then using the DRS, burn the battery and just pull away. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it fares in this game. We will. But then round three, we'll get ourselves over to arguably one of the best tracks on the calendar. It's Brazil, Interlagos. You've got to love it. Sao Paulo. You've got to absolutely love it. You get over there, it's tight, it's twisty. There's elevation changes, up and down hills, but great racing all the way through it. And you can always get a drag race to the line if you're right there in position on the final lap. If you come out of that final corner behind, drag race to the line, and you can pull out a photo finish, and it's always lovely to see. Before we get ourselves over to round four in Imola, Italy, track limits finally being a bit more forgiving in F1 25 compared to what we've seen in 24. You could just literally put two wheels off the track, and no, the FIA were not having it in 24. And then round five, Spielberg, we get ourselves over to the Red Bull Ring in Austria. Love that track, I've got to say. It's one of the, it's the least amount of turns throughout the entire calendar of Formula One. There's only about 9 turns to complete that circuit. Very, very fast, and of course, up into turn 3, beautiful places to overtake. Miami, back to the USA for round 6, that being in August time, before we go over to Singapore for round 7. So, do we have a break there? No, I don't think we have a break in between that. I think we're just straight through, no break. So normally you see halfway point breaks. I don't think I'm seeing one on there as of yet. No, I don't think. Oh, yeah, I am. Round 4. I think we have a week break after round 4 in Imola. And then obviously get going again to Singapore. We do have a reverse track, so bear this in mind. Silverstone, round 8, now that I get to it, is in reverse. So that on the calendar is a reverse Grand Prix. Interesting stuff. Lovely. Waiting to see that. Something new, something exciting before we get over to Austin, Texas for round 9. Round 10, Barcelona in Spain, and round 11, Australia. One of my favourite tracks as well. Love to race there. Plenty of places to overtake. 9 and 10 again. 9 and 10 in Bahrain, diabolical. 9 and 10 in Australia, beautiful. If you can pin it around that left-right chicane, foot to the floor, it feels incredible. Before we finish our season, Yas Marina, Abu Dhabi. Interesting stuff, Ryan. How are we feeling about what is to be on this calendar? And of course, I've got to ask you about that reverse track Silverstone.
I mean, it's a good calendar. I'm really annoyed. I've just looked and I'm gonna miss Imola, which is my favorite track on this game. I absolutely love it. And unfortunately, I'm in America for that. I'm in America for Austria as well. So I'm missing some bangers here. And I think I'm just back from Miami, but I'll probably be quite jet lagged. Silverstone though, I'm gonna go full Godfather. Look how they massacred my boy. I like if I'm gonna go around here. If you're gonna try the reverse tracks, do Zandvoort because it's a track that nobody really cares about that much. But Silverstone is iconic, and you're ruining Silverstone by doing it in reverse. I've just knocked my camera by hitting my desk. But
Oh, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it. I can't lie. I've got to say I'm excited for it. It's different. It's definitely different, and I think it's really going to change the way we see pole position, even race victor. I think it's going to be an absolute curveball. Like somebody unexpected may take the victory there. It's going to be wild because people they're not used to this, not driving it backwards. I mean, some of the drivers we've got in even D1 could probably drive it with their eyes closed, like in a normal format. But reverse track format. Ooh, we're gonna catch you out with this one. I'm excited for that. I can't lie. That's probably the one I'm most excited to see. Something different as we go into season 4. I will take us on to your driver lineup. You can take a quick little look at who's lining up on what teams, although we only have 15 drivers on display here tonight. Marius Anderson and Ratty line up your McLarens. You see both of them. You only see one Ferrari on the grid tonight, that being Glitch 10 and Super Striker, not making it. Mariam Jonas and Juni, both of those Red Bulls lining up on the grid tonight. Banana and Boss Moss. Banana not making it, but you do have the Mercedes of Boss Moss and the Aston Martins. You have Keijo and Janice Milborn. But Janice not here. You only have a reserve driver of Hako. going on to PW Jones and Hilly in the Alpines with Lawrence Patton and Jay Gorse. You see both of them out there tonight. Lawrence almost taking pole position, but had that invalidation on the final run in the Haas cars and the V cars. It's Bahrain you see on the track, and Aiden not with us here tonight. Julian Prince and Dark lining up in the Williams. Julian on the grid. Dark is not with Cooper Fan, and Luke lining up the Kick Salbers. Cooper on the grid with Luke failing to shot as well. So 15 drivers. The one-man bands on the grid tonight have their work cut out for them, trying to score higher points against those running two drivers. So eyes open for what could be for those one-driver teams out here in Bahrain. Other than that, we do have, I think, 29 laps of racing action to come your way. I'm excited for this one, right?
Yeah, it's Bahrain. I feel like the track gets a lot of stick for being dull, but if you think about it, what Bahrain race in recent years has been a stinker? Maybe 2023, but we had the Alonso charge through the grid. 2024. Okay, maybe 2024 to be fair, but other than that, I think 2018 was good, 2019 was great. Both 2020 races were incredible. 2021 banger, 2022 start of a new age. I think one of my favorite races in F1, and then 2025 as well.
Absolutely, I'm bringing us to trackside now as the drivers get themselves ready. But I agree with you. Yeah, we've had some banger races in Bahrain. If you think of the last couple of years, things have been a bit interesting. 23, for example, the Alonso charge. 24 was a good race as well. So I don't know what. Let's see what's on offer here tonight with these 15 drivers. As the lights get lit, we are 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. Everybody's ready to rock and roll. The lights are out, and away we go. It's a good getaway from Glitch. Well, Lawrence was not caught out at all, trying to make it side by side with Glitch 10 as we go down into turn 1. Looking to outbrake him. You see the cars flooding side by side, 4 wide, almost as we go deep on the brakes into turn 1. I saw Carbon fly as Cooper Fan under heavy attack from K-Joe. As K-Joe strikes on through, Lawrence with a beautiful charge off the line to take the lead. Glitch 10 trying to claw his way back up, but Cooper Fan is defending that P3, trying to keep himself up there as K-Joe takes it away as we get going into Sector 2 now. Things getting interesting off the race start. We see drivers in the back of the grid. PW Jones almost side by side with Julian Prince. Julian Prince trying to defend it. Well, PW Jones looking for any open door. Hilliard as well, trying to dive on through in that Alpine. Fighting away with Juni as Juni tries to defend his position true and hard. Everybody making it through as Hako fights on through as well. We see both McLaren side by side as one's forced into a ghosty state of Marius Anderson and Ratty's just trying to pull ahead of him. Cooper Fan almost in a ghosty state. Has had a bit of a moment there into 9 and 10 and has dropped down into P5 that sees the Aston Martins line up 3 and 4. So far, beautiful race start, and Lawrence has pulled away a second on Glitch 10 and he's under no threat from behind.
Yeah, Lawrence with a brilliant start. Cooper Fan's just nearly dropped it on the exit of turn 13. That leaves him vulnerable to Marius Anderson now. Marius Anderson trying to get his way back up into P5 once again and gets ahead of the Kick Sauber. But what a start for Lawrence, and I think definitely benefiting off of having the softer compound to begin with in this race. Though Glitch 10 is pulling back, one of the Red Bulls pulling out alongside Ghosts back there. I think that's Juni at the back. Going to go for a move down the inside on the Haas. We've got several groups of cars going side by side through the first 2 corners. Contact between Cooper Fan and Ratty as they go side by side through turn 3. And we've also got K-Joe challenging Glitch 10. Nothing coming of that. But now, Jonas going around the outside of Cooper Fan, and Cooper's just dropping like a stone here.
I wonder if Cooper's picked up any damage, but he's looking to try and defend it there, but couldn't slip in. He falls back in line before we come through 5, 6, and 7. You don't want to go side by side there. It can really mess you up coming down into turn number 8. So he did well to fall himself back in line there and try and keep himself out of danger. Is that Baron we see going side by side further back? Gets past the Haas of Ghost there. So, oh, he's gone deep into 9 and 10, and the Haas slips back through. Beautiful stuff from Jay Ghost. Oh, that's a Williams off and into the wall. That's Julian Prince. Oh, my word, his front wing is gone. He just got a bit too throttle happy on the exit of 10 and went flying off the track.
I'm amazed we've not got a safety car there, or even worse, only 14 cars left. He hit the wall so hard on the left-hand side of the car. Amazing that he's still got all 4 wheels attached, but definitely going to ruin his race quite early on here for the Williams driver. And Lawrence now has a 1.5 second gap out front, and I think K-Joe is going to go for the move on Glitch 10 towards turn 1, doesn't even need the braking zone, and pulls ahead of the pole sitter. So we've also got Marius Anderson
Yeah,
overtaking his compatriot, Hako.
he did
I
indeed.
think everybody else is just two together in the DRS as Julian Prince has retired. I'm not surprised after that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Julian Prince. We're down to 14 on the grid so far. His race has been well and truly ruined. No VSC, no safety car. That debris was staying off the track and did not need any form of intervention. So his strategy currently being ruined. But if he'd have boxed and swapped for some tyres, I mean, he could have waited out for another safety car. He was technically still in this.
I mean, he was, but also with everybody else doing a 1-stop, he would have been forced into the 2-stop. Did he have enough hards or mediums to go through with it? Like, did he? I mean, really, you need to do a hard from this point, especially pushing on to try and catch the cars ahead. This is going to be a race all about saving the tyres, and Joe has caught back up to Lawrence Patton now.
Lawrence is, I think, more focused on tyre saving. He brought the DRS as he does break it once again. He's just trying to keep that 1 second gap, I think, and manage the tyres to see how long he can go. Keijo pushing to try and get back in the DRS. So it's smart thinking from Lawrence. If he can just keep them pushing from behind, let them use up the tyre, and he's a bit comfortable out in front. But unfortunately, Keijo does have that rear wing open. He has caught back up and does take the fastest lap, but gets jumped immediately by Marius Anderson. He's got the fastest lap so far, and he's looking to try and close back up to the podium sitters. Only if Marius Anderson does have the pace to do it, but he has got a penalty. I wonder what that's for. That's 3 seconds, so that is a track limit violation. We'll look at the position changes now. You can see who's jumped up, your biggest winners and biggest losers. Cooper Fan dropping 5 positions, but he's now trying to overtake Marion Jonas. Does slip on through with the DRS. It's easy pickings. So he does regain one of the positions he lost off the race start. He was P3, and now he finds himself down in P7.
I think the hards are finally starting to get some temperature as Glitch 10 takes out the bollard on the inside of turn 8. But Glitch 10 also managing to keep up with Joe somewhat. I think he might have just lost the DRS though, going through to turn 11. And yes, he does. He has lost the DRS, and he's going to be under threat now from Marius Anderson. But the hards, they will come into their own very soon. And I wonder, we'll see, won't we? Which is quicker, the medium hard or the hard medium?
I think it may be the hard medium. If you can just go long as possible, maybe even into that puncture territory on these hards. It's going to be difficult. You know, car's full of fuel, it's heavier, you're on the worst compound. When you finally use those mediums, they're just going to feel unreal. And you're going to really be able to pull them and push them to the maximum potential. So I feel like these hard runners may be on the optimum strat.
We're going to see a move into turn 1 here from Keijo on Lawrence Patton, I think. Potential dive down the inside. Oh, no. Backs out of it. He had a look up the inside, but nothing came of it. And is he going to get close enough to challenge in towards turn 4? We could see the move now, but no, he's not close enough. He's going to have to sit behind. There's no point going for a silly move. And we have got Mercedes battling away with one of the Red Bulls there. And Boss Moss just getting ahead or staying ahead of Dune NY. But crucially, I think Glitch 10 is struggling to keep up with these two medium runners out front.
Ooh.
And he might lose the DRS. I guess we'll see through to the detection zone, and he's managed to regain it.
Yeah, just had the perfect exit out of turn 8 and regained a few tenths when it was needed. He was outside that 1 second going into turn 8, 1.1, but did manage to get it down by 3 tenths in a turn. So really sending it though, really trying to get that DRS back and slip back into the train as everybody else is trying to do the same. Cooper's 2.5 behind and running his own little train. So 2 lots of races going on right now as we get going into the first stint, but the strategies as well, something you need to watch out for, as we saw in Division 2 yesterday. This is something we cannot stress enough. If you get your strategy wrong, it could cost you the race victory like it did with the KFC bloke, who was evidently the fastest man on the field.
Yeah, that 2.5 second gap is concerning me on Cooper's behalf, because he can't afford to push. He can't kill the tyres, because if he kills the tyres, especially on the hards, that's it. That's game over. But also, with the cars ahead having the DRS pulling each other along, he can't gain any time. So he's just going to slowly drop back now. And I think it's going to be an everlasting cycle.
Oh, he's defending hard against Mariam Jonas there, so he's lost more time. It's 3.3 now. So rather than letting these cars past, he's defending hard. He's making it difficult for them. It's ultimately costing them more time. He's not getting the optimum lines through the turns. His car's out of placement trying to defend these attacks. He's just dropping time like a sieve at this rate.
I don't think he's necessarily defending hard, more the Malium's attacking hard, and it's making it seem quite... Oh, Marius Anderson has managed to get past Glitched Hen through turn 10.
Alonso
So I wonder
move.
if... Oh, Cooper fan's gone miles off the circuit as well. So I wonder if people are skateboarding over that curb on the outside as you turn in. If you ride that curb, you do just go straight on off the road at a perpendicular angle towards the wall.
Cooper's really struggling out here. I wonder if he's got some non-visible damage, just slight, something that's affecting him through these turns. Because he's really he's just not on pace. He's just nowhere near.
Again, I wonder if being so far off the cars ahead is having that same effect of there's no slipstream, there's no tow. You know, I mean, in my experience, when I'm behind a faster car, I can follow
Move for
that
the
line and
lead.
keep up.
Joe makes it side by side into turn one. Lawrence is trying to fight it back. He's got the better line. He's got the better traction. And he is going to slip back ahead, but does concede DRS. Marius Anderson's trying to get in the mix. He's trying to look for an open door. Not quite there. Moving out of it, Joe once again looking for an inside line. Will he take it here and now as we get going down towards turn 5? Lawrence able to defend it once again. Maintains that lead. Beautiful racing there.
Cooper spun at turn 1 during that. You could just about see it in the background. I don't know if he had contact with Malium Jonas, because Jonas has also lost a lot of time, but Cooper was facing the wrong way and is now 3.5 seconds back as Glitched Hen and Marius Anderson are going side by side through turn 10 and now down the straight, and it's just going to be a drag race to the next turn of 11. Who's going to get the better line and the better grip? Probably the outside line through 11.
Oh!
Ooh.
Glitch slipping on through. I think those hard tyres are finally coming to life. The medium's hitting a bit of a drop off there because Marius just didn't really look like he had the speed.
I've just noticed that Bahrain is actually on the softs, so he'll have to pit probably at the end of this lap, maybe the end of next lap at a push.
Maybe.
But those softs are already going to be screaming.
Yeah, I agree with Baron's sauce, but I think the soft hard is certainly a strategy that's on the cards. So if he did soft hard, box from lap 10, it's perfectly doable. It's dangerous to push the softs that much, but I'm pretty sure it is possible.
I don't think you can get the softs that far, to be completely honest. I saw people, I've seen people struggling on the mediums at nearly 60% wear on mediums around lap 10. So I can't imagine what those softs would be like. And oh, side by side he goes now with Ghost.
Oh!
Turn 4.
He's dropped it.
Oh, no, that's Hilly. Has Hilly dropped it on his own?
Oh, Hilly, I think, yeah. I didn't really...
He either dropped it on his own, or got caught out by Baron and Ghost going side by side on the exit. But so unfortunate for Hilly, that just looked like driver error there.
Yeah, he's just a bit too trigger happy on the throttle and let up those rear tyres, but he did well to save it. He's lost out some time, but maybe can pull that back with an undercut.
I mean, definitely going to gain time on Jonesy and Cooper, and probably Ghosts as well, as they'll all have to pick quite late on in this race, at least in order to make the hard medium work. But are we going to see people maybe coming into the pits at this early? I doubt it, because I don't think the hards will even go 20 laps, but...
Oh, he's braving it.
K-Joe. Yep, K-Joe down the inside. And is it going to be a carbon copy of what happened last time? He tries to go for the better exit out of turn 3, and that actually leaves him more vulnerable to Glitched Hen now, as Glitched Hen's going to go for the move. Is it 3 wide? No, it's only 2 wide. But the Ferrari, on the inside, on the hards, has the better grip at this point in the race, and gets back ahead of K-Joe and up into P2.
Oh, lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. with that 3-second time penalty, though. He's still fighting very hard. I wonder if that's removable. Will we see something to come later on in the Discord and updated standings? Keep your eyes peeled for that after steward reviews. Glitch 10's fighting like that. 3 seconds isn't even there. He's looking to close down now on Lawrence. Does have the DRS, but I don't think he's in striking distance for a move. K. Joe, though, is he looking to close that gap up? Maybe. I think Glitch was just recharging there, focusing more on harvesting the energy coming down that DRS straight. He's not really gained any time on Lawrence, but he's still well within that DRS.
I mean, you can afford to drop to that 8th or 9/10th like delta behind the car ahead going through this next detection zone, because through the main straight you gain almost 6/10, maybe even more depending on your setup. But he's not going to be under any real threat from K. Joe whilst he's got the DRS on Lawrence. And I guess we'll see just how much he can gain now. Got the rear wing open. Is he potentially going to go for a move on Lawrence into turn 1? Moves to the inside and retakes the lead of the race. Lawrence is defending hard. He's going to have to take a tighter line. And Glitch 10 has got the superior exit. Don't rule K. Joe out of this. And can K. Joe go for the move on Glitch 10? And Lawrence is saved once again by the battle behind. And K. Joe around the outside of the Scarlet Ferrari. And I think Glitch 10 has just about been able to keep ahead and in P2.
Oh, yeah, really throwing that Ferrari there into turn 5, maintaining that position. K. Joe again looking for a send there into turn 8, just couldn't make it happen. Tried to go a little bit later on the brakes, but Glitch 10 had that covered off. And what I've got to say is Bahrain has now boxed. He managed to make it 9 laps. Good running on the sauce and going for that undercut. Let's see what sort of strategy that is for Bahrain. Is that the race winner? Those hards are going to be disastrous at the end of the race, whereas everybody else is going for that longer stint, that longer first stint for an open strategy. Anything could happen here. You never know. But Bahrain, he can go on any tyre here on out, no matter what happens. He's already completed that mandatory tyre compound change, so if a safety car was to come out, he can do whatever he feels like.
I mean, he did just light up the rears and nearly spin through turn 8 as well, so already struggling with these tyres. They are so cold out of the box. And he's going to have to go 21 laps on those tyres now to the end if he wants to fulfill the one stop. So,
oh, is that Hako going in? That is. That's Hako boxing. That's brave. 10 laps on mediums. 19 on the hards.
20.
20, if you include the lap he's going to do, yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
Oh, Glitch 10 challenging for the lead. Wheel banging between the Ferrari and the Haas. Both powered by that Ferrari engine. Which one's going to come out on top as the side-by-side coming out of turn 5 and 6? And Lawrence dives back ahead. Master of defending there as we get going into the second sector. He's done it before and does it every time somebody tries it into turn 4. Doing very well is the Haas to keep that position. 11 laps on those mediums. The hards are the better tyre, as shown by Glitch 10 as he's clawing through this field. Those mediums have hit a wall and starting to drop off rapidly. Not even K. Joe is able to try and challenge Glitch 10 at the minute.
Yeah, I am wrong. You were right. It is 19 laps, and it was actually 20 for Bahrain. So, whoops. But Marius Anderson is actually going to put up quite a threat to K. Joe. It's only 2/10 behind, sometimes 3, depending on the exit of the corner. But, I mean, Hako could get a supreme undercut on the cars ahead. We've got Tom Carter saying that his 2-stopper was the one that won yesterday. And I think that's where we're going to potentially see some inspiration for the other drivers. Lawrence comes in, K. Joe comes in, and Ratty comes in, along with the Red Bull of Dooney. And I think, yeah, that's it. But this is where we see how good Hako's undercut is. Does he come out ahead of Lawrence Patton?
I don't know. I think that... Oh, hang on a minute. I don't think he'll come out ahead, but he's going to be right there with those runners. It's going to be close. He might be within the sandwich, maybe slot in between them. Is he going to... Has he done it? Oh, here comes Lawrence. Oh, he's ahead! I don't believe it. He's done it! Wow.
So that is the strength of the undercut. He's gone from what was P6 on the road, I think, it might have been P5, but he's jumped up to the lead.
Oh my word. He's net P1.
Unless it's a safety car now, Paco is the net leader of this Grand Prix. Is Keijo's challenging Lawrence through the chicane. Oh, they're both up in the gravel!
What? What happened? I missed it. Oh my god, I was trying to get the
Lawrence and
camera on it.
Keijo have wheel hooked.
Is the damage? Show me for damage. Clip it. If he was on board, clip it.
I've not got a clipping software.
Oh no. Oh wait,
But
what's going on here? Lawrence is going back
It's
through.
still going. Lawrence has gone deep now and off the road, dropping the rear end. And look how much time they've lost to Ratty. They've lost 5.5 seconds.
Oh my word. Oh, Hacker, I think has just been hit with a stroke of unbelievable luck as these two are scrapping away. Oh my word.
Yeah, this is the perfect time. Marius Anderson is in the pits. He needed to pit now. And we'll see, where can that number 43, I'm afraid he might not keep that long if the game gets updated. But
Oh,
Marius
Hacker
now,
comes down.
he's going to be behind Ratty.
Yeah, right, he comes down. Wait.
Oh.
Oh no, he's out. He's out. He's ahead of his
No.
teammate.
Because Ratty had to avoid the crash ahead. So Ratty lost time there.
Oh, Marius struggling with a raise there, coming out of turn one. Further back, the fight ensues with Keijo and Lawrence as Keijo pulls on through, but here comes Lawrence looking for fighting back with the DRS. And a beautiful run up to turn three and does dive on through. I'm going to stay on board to see what happens here. Hopefully we don't see any more tyre locking. There's Keijo comes right up to that rear diffuser of Lawrence's Haas. And here we go through 5, 6 and 7, which saw them off the track just a lap ago.
This could turn into a bit of a spike battle between the two of them. Oh, Keijo so deep into turn 8. And he could be passed by Dooney. Yes, he is. But he's going to still stick his nose down the inside into the hairpin here. And I think just he forces the Red Bull off the road there, I think. Dooney just trying to avoid a collision. But this has gone from bad to worse for Keijo with a massive lockup sending him off the track. And I was on board with him through the S's, and I think he might have some non-visible wing damage as he lost so much time through turns 6 and 7.
Well, all that time loss is huge for those that have yet to box, but they're going for a long strat, so it's going to help them because the alternate strategy for these guys have had a huge time loss, so they're not under pressure too much now, but I don't think we see them extend any more than they need to because they've still got to run the amount of laps on mediums and try and catch back up to the field, which will inevitably be caught eventually by Lawrence and Keijo. But oh, Keijo again! Oh my word, he's driving angry. He's driving angry. He's not happy with what's happened. It's very clear. Yeah, it's very, very clear that he's driving angry.
Isn't it? It's the red mist.
Yeah. No, Ryan's comms before, by the way, Tom Carter in the chat. He has done commentary before in a different league. He's got his fair share of experience. That's why he's so good.
Nearly 2 years going in that league, or about a year and a half, somewhere between there now. But one thing I do want to point out is PW Jones is actually, I know it's not where he is, but he's running P4 at the minute. So I'm always going to back Jonesy after last season, but doing well considering where he qualified. Yeah.
Yeah, old teammates. You got to root for your old teammate. I'd say that. I'd done it myself when I went from driver to full-time commentator. My ex-teammate. I still sort of root for Tom Carter as well every now and again. I get a bit biased. I support him as a driver, but I know I shouldn't because it can be seen as biased. But you know, my gut.
I don't care if I'm seen as biased.
Well, I got a big. I'm head steward, Anna. So if he's in an incident, I've still got to follow the book and still slap him with the big penalty. But you know, I've just gotta, keep it cool. We stay on board with Junie. He's getting very, very close. He's gonna send it into turn 1. And Lawrence goes late on the brakes, almost half a car length ahead there. Oh, beautiful stuff. But
This
Lawrence
is perfect
defends
for
it.
Keijo.
It is indeed.
Because the Haas does not have the DRS. Keijo could potentially make a move on the both of them here. He's going to go for the... Oh, it looked like he was setting up a switchback, but he's actually just gone clean around the outside of Junie. Although it's not worked.
No.
I don't think he had the grip.
God, I've got to say, every single time somebody goes for outside line into turn 4, the inside line seems to just get the power down and the traction is so much easier. The defensive capability into turn 4 on that inside line is unreal. They're just pulling it off so much easier than you'd expect. Like, it's caught us out a few times. We expect the move to be done and dusted out of turn 4, and then you see the car take the position back again. Wow, it shows the grip difference though.
Yeah, one thing that's intriguing me is Junie holding on to Lawrence. I mean, Junie was in, I think, EU2 last season. I feel like I remember racing him, but this is really nice to see. I mean, maybe Lawrence's damage as we see Malcolm Jonas pick up a 3-second time penalty. He's currently in P12. That'll put him last as Marius Anderson sets the fastest lap and could potentially take the net lead of the race here. Going for the move on Hacko down the inside into turn 1. And Marius Anderson is ahead of the Aston Martin now as Dooney goes for the move on Lawrence Patton as well. He's a car length ahead by the time they get to the apex. But
Watch
is he going to be able to
Lawrence.
defend?
Watch Lawrence. He went a little bit wider, tried to set himself up for a better exit, and here he comes back with it, with that rear wing open. I saw that coming all the way, and takes that position back. Beautifully set up there. Oh no, there's contact between the two! Judy's hit the Haas. There's damage for the Red Bull, and the Haas has been put back and lost out. Joe just slips on through, staying out of trouble. And now we could see Lawrence under attack from Malcolm Jonas from behind under DRS. Coming out of turn 9 and 10, sorry. That's crazy. That's crazy.
For those of you who obviously can't see this, me and Corey both put our hands on our head the exact same way as that happened. That was brilliant. But
that's crazy. Lawrence having a stinker when he looked good for race victory. He was looking challenging for pole. We had that final invalidation on his last run, and he's just getting sent further back down the field from no fault of his own. Oh, it's a disaster.
Obviously, we both didn't really see the incident that he had with Joe through the chicane, so we don't know whose fault that was, but it seems like he's just getting screwed over by the gods here.
Yeah.
Turn 8, no, wrong one.
To be or not to be, and for Lawrence, it's not to be. But here comes Junie trying to challenge on Joe. Looks for the outside line. Joe thinks he's going to let him have it. And will he pull the same sort of line that we saw from Lawrence to get that over speed? No, he won't. He's going to sit behind, but he will have the DRS now going up towards turn 4. What sort of move shall we see here, if there is one to come, as Lawrence is forced to defend there a little bit against Malcolm Jonas. No move coming as of yet. Joe getting a little bit of a better run on Junie ahead. Just has to sit behind and wait in that rear diffuser of the Red Bull. This is getting a little bit spicy here, as the front five have yet to pit for those medium compound tyre, doing very well to go this long so far after they've had to run with a heavier car for the first 10 laps.
Yeah, I imagine they'll start pitting soon. Of course, they'll be able to go further on the mediums than the others due to having that lower fuel at the end. They're definitely at this point with 12 laps to go next time Glitch 10 crosses the line. Boss Moss, Ghosts, and Peter W. Jones and Cooper Fan are all well within their rights to begin pitting. And yet, there it is, Boss Moss into the pits. We'll see who else follows him in. And Ghost follows him in. Jonesy follows him in. And Cooper follows them in. So, just Glitch 10 left to pit in this race.
Oh, he's being a little bit brave, as Marius Anderson takes his rightful place up into P2 with just one more car separating him from that P1, that official P1 position that he will have to defend over the next 11 laps. Well, 10 and 2/3 if you want to get technical, as they're almost finishing the Sector 1.
Joe and Dooney fighting again here. And this is now for P5. This has gone from P9 to P5 in a matter of seconds here.
Oh,
Lawrence sticking his nose in. And I think the Aston Martin just being pushed wide by the Red Bull here. We could see, I think there's contact on the entry. And now, Joe going for a switch back through turn 7. Can he line one up through 8 as well? No, he's pushed wide, forced out, squeezed away by that Red Bull. And Lawrence is going to be challenging 8 to turn 10. Lawrence goes for a move on the Aston Martin, hits the back of the Red Bull, but to no avail for Dooney. And Lawrence has massively benefited there, up into P6. K-Joe down the inside again. This is absolutely incredible here. Oh, contact! K-Joe's dropped the rear a bit, managed to keep it going in the right direction. Oh my word!
It is knuckle biting stuff. I'm literally biting my knuckles because the contact is inevitable at this point. With this level of hard racing, the K-Joe sending it, Lawrence sending it, any open door is being taken by these drivers. They want track position. As we see Glitch 10 into the pit finally, and will come out in P4 under no threat from behind. But as we get going once again down the DRS straight, is there a move to come for Lawrence? He's looking for it around the outside. He does slip ahead. Junie's not fighting it too hard. And further back behind that is Bossmos and Malcolm Jonas. As Bossmos is pushed to the inside line into turn 3. Can he pull it off? Yes, he does. The Mercedes is ahead and in the fight for the front if he can get there. But that Red Bull's looking to fight him back, and Malcolm Jonas just can't get his nose in and can't open that door yet. I'll stay on board with P6 or Lawrence as we look to these drivers fighting away for the back end of the points. Oh, this is crazy stuff. K-Joe getting a little bit friendly with the diffuser of Lawrence there, coming out of turn 8, but as we get going down into turn 9 and 10, what saw Lawrence pull out an outrageous move. No moves are coming thus far.
I'm lost for words. This is some of the best racing I've ever seen as Malcolm Jonas dropped it on the exit there, manages to keep it going in the right direction. Boss down the inside on K-Joe, manages to stick his nose up the inside against the Aston Martin. Now around the outside of turn 12. Is he going to be brushed wide? Yes, he is. And K-Joe defending hard, just giving him the cold shoulder contact between the Mercedes and the Aston Martin as they power down towards turn 14 with K-Joe marginally ahead now.
Oh my word, Bossmos on those fresh medium tyres. He's getting the elbows out now while he has the tyres to do so. As the laps unfold, as they keep defending him, they'll burn away and their advantage will slip away, but they'll still be on the better compound over these hards. We see Lawrence and Junie fight away as Bossmos go side by side around the outside, forced a long way around the Aston Martin, and contact between the two as he tries to pull himself over to better his racing line and does manage to get that P7 away. K-Joe, can he do anything to fight it back? Not yet. Lawrence still leading this train of fighters behind him. These warriors getting their elbows out and really scrapping for these positions.
And in all that, Lawrence actually managed to make a move into turn 1 and then not be challenged into turn 4. However, I wonder if his tyres, after getting tapped in the rear so much, losing the rear as a consequence so much, are a bit dead, because even with that wing damage, Junie is holding on.
I totally forgot that Red Bull's got a missing end plate, and he's doing very well to stay where he is. And he goes for a move on Lawrence into turn 11 there. Elbows are out. Is there a switch back from the harsher? Then right there is. As he goes to the inside, which will switch to the outside line. And he takes that position back away. Was under no threat. Nice, calm and collected. And oh my God, it's overtake central here in Bahrain. As Malcolm Jonas almost drops it again. Barely keeping his Red Bull in a straight line. Here goes Bossmos down to the inside line of 14. Trying to overtake the Red Bull of Junie and get himself in the scrap with Lawrence ahead. But is there a switch back to come for Junie? And while he's looking for it, he managed to get a run as the side-by-side going down the start-finish straight. He's burning the battery. He's marginally ahead as the later on the brakes. Who's going to pull it off? It's Bossmos, and he dives around Lawrence as well. Is he going to pull it off with the SCS, that medium tyre, showing its advantage? Can he pull ahead as Lawrence still tries to defend it? Insane racing going on lap 21 as Lawrence looks to try to maintain the lead of this pack, but Bossmos around the outside will pull it off eventually with the tyre compound difference. They're still side by side into 5, 6 and 7. Who's going to pull it off on this one as Bossmos in the Mercedes slips ahead? Oh my word, I need a breath.
Contact! K-Joe's just dove up the inside of Junie, and I think he's come off for worse there. He just slammed into the side pod of the Red Bull car. I need a breather.
I need a breath. I need a breath. This is crazy stuff. Absolute insane racing. And what a way to get round 1 of season 4 underway as we see the Haas series. That Ghost getting into the mix. He dives to the inside of Bahrain and makes it easy in 11 as he opened the door for the Alpine of PW Jones to get in this mix. This is insane stuff from these drivers all the way through this train. from P6 down to P13, leaving no margin for error as here comes PW Jones. He's got a run on Bahrain. That V-carb is left out drying as the Alpine slips ahead.
So what we didn't notice in all that as well is that Hilly actually spun at turn 1 during that massive battle. Cooper also getting past Baron, who has to pit. But Lawrence is just trying to hold on to Bossmos and challenge for P5. Bossmos definitely has the ability to power ahead now as Hilly retires from the race. And Glitched Hen, let's not forget him. He has now got only 1.2 seconds to Hako in P3. And at the minute, it's a McLaren 1-2 here.
This is beautiful start of the season for the Papayas. They are literally starting 25 off with a bang like you've seen in the real life seasons. 1-2 lockout if they can maintain it as Glitched Hen is closing down to Hakor and Hakor is within DRS of Ratty. Marius Anderson 2 seconds ahead, maybe feeling a little bit comfortable for now until Glitched Hen starts to close down. He needs to get past Hakor and then hope that his McLaren Papaya teammate will defend that Ferrari with everything he's got to maintain the McLaren victory going into round 1. But we still got our eyes on P5 and lower as Bossmos is not out of the woods yet. Lawrence has done well to stay with him, but Junie's dropped that second.
Glitched Hen's going to go for the move on Hako. So Glitched Hen right behind the Aston Martin now, pulls to the right-hand side and gets ahead up into P3. The Ferrari back on the podium again. Is he going to go around the outside of Ratty as well? Potentially into turn 1. Going to go the long way round now and gets the better exit. Is he ahead of the McLaren? Contact between the two of them as now heading up towards turn 4 they go. More contact between the two. Neither of them with the DRS open side by side now. Contact again. And that's Ratty just about losing the rear. And Glitched Hen up into P2. But let's not forget that both Marius Anderson and Glitched Hen have 3-second time penalties.
Absolutely. So they are fighting for position as Marius Anderson's trying to break that 3-second barrier from his teammate to maintain the victory. Either way, it would have been a McLaren 1-2. But with Ratty, he needs to try and get back within the 3 seconds of them both to make sure that it is that McLaren victory that they need. Marius Anderson just needs to stay ahead of Glitched Hen. This could still be that Papaya 1-2 that we want, that we'd love to see at the start of this season. They've got the strategy of a lifetime and managed to jump ahead on a massive undercut. So that just shows you the undercut is the way to go here in Bahrain. As looking back to Bossmos, 10 seconds off these drivers, Hakor and the McLaren Papaya team did go for that undercut.
I think, oh, that's Ghost down the inside of Keijo. He dove down the inside at turn 13. You never see a dive through there. But Ghost is now ahead of the Aston Martin. And I think what has contributed to that 10-second gap is all the fighting between Lawrence, Junie, Keijo, and Co. Because that's really what's cost all of these drivers outside the top 4 here. And I think we could see a move from Ghost to get up into P7. And also Keijo trying to go for a move on Junie again. Is he going to be able to make the move? I don't think he is. And Ghost is up now just chasing after his teammates. So who would have thought that we'd have Ghost 1 place behind Lawrence after qualifying?
No, that's insane stuff. Ghost is doing very, very well. He's on the mediums, and if I think he did start on the hard, so he has gone for the hard mediums, pushed those hards as long as possible. Now he's on the better tyre. All these runners have been on the hards for quite a while. Keijo still looking for a move on Junie. Junie's got the damage, let's not forget that. So he is running a little bit slower, and Keijo's getting a little bit frustrated, stuck behind this Red Bull. He dives to the inside of turn 9. Can he slip it round turn 10? I don't know if he can. He's almost making contact with that Red Bull, but he's still not through yet.
We've also got PW Jones and Cooper Fan having the exact same battle behind. So it's just entertainment up and down the field. We don't even know what to watch.
I've got to say, I've only just noticed there's 5 laps to go with all this action. I've not even paid attention with the lap counter. Oh, the kick's over. Looking for it on Keijo. Cooper trying to make an open door as Keijo defends it with everything he's got. Oh my word, this is getting mighty spicy as the lap counter starts to tick down.
Let's not rule out the battle for the podium as well. Ratty 2 seconds behind Glitched Hen. but Hako right on his tail here, and I think Keijo, does he have DRS? Yeah, he just has DRS on Junie, and he's going to get it towards turn 4 as well, but yeah, these older hards are beginning to struggle here.
I just wonder where
As...
Junior will be in this race if he wasn't missing
Oh,
that end plate. Oh, there goes
Cooper
Cooper.
fan. And I think Keijo is just starting to struggle on those hards. All the fighting has worn those tyres down to the bone here. And could potentially see him make another dive into turn 8. Oh, big snap off the track.
Oh, he's really
And that is...
struggling there in the high-speed corners. Yeah, I think you're right. The
Oh,
tyres just don't have it anymore.
the lead. Glitch 10. 4/10 behind Marius Anderson on 6-lap fresher medium tyres compared to the 12-lap old hard compound. So this is where we see, are they at a similar point of wear due to the differential between the two tyre compounds on this circuit? And who's going to come out in front? I have a feeling it's going to be an easy DRS pass for Glitch 10 down the straight. It's amazing, isn't it, that the calmest fighting is actually for the win.
It is, yeah. It's going to be easy pickings with that DRS. Slips ahead there. Marius Anderson just needs to stay within DRS striking distance to have a chance at fighting back. Like that tyre difference, it wouldn't surprise me to see Glitch 10 pull ahead now. He's out of that horrible, disgusting, dirty R.
Yeah, I have a feeling Glitched will just be pushing on as Baron picks up a time penalty. We've got Cooper and Keijo going for a battle again. Keijo pulls outside, contact between the two of them. Big contact there. PW Jones slides his way through, and I think Keijo just locked the rears there.
Yeah, did think he got on the brakes a bit too late. Completely outbraked himself. Locked the rear, ended up spinning sideways. PW Jones slips on through. He's not lost out too much time. He's still there in the fight, but he's got to get past PW Jones now if he wants another crack at Cooper fan.
Keijo and Junie both just picked up 3-second time penalties.
Oh, that's damaged their wrist.
So, yeah.
Junior going to fall down to, what, P10. Keijo will stay where he is. Baron will stay where he is. Cooper now looking to move up to P8 with that time penalty, but not enough to get ever higher than that. Everybody's calming down now. I think the tyres are spent, done. They've had all the aggression used up in these earlier laps, and wow, what some fighting we saw though, I gotta say. Absolute insane battles throughout the entirety of the grid, to be fair.
I mean, it's not over yet, so...
It's not over until the last lap, yeah.
I wouldn't start wrapping up your spiel yet, as actually we could see a move for the lead. Yeah, we do. Marius Anderson tries it around the outside, going to go for the switchback, get a better exit out of turns 2 and 3. And with the assistance of DRS, is he going to be able to go for the move on Glitch 10 into turn 4? No, just not close enough at the minute. Potentially got the switchback on the cards. But also, no, as Keijo is retired in the pits, it's been a rough race for him.
Yeah, it has. He's not happy with that. He's just going to call it. That contact with Lawrence off the start, I think when they were in the first stint, they'd gone flying into the gravel. Oh, no, sorry, after the pit stops when they went flying into the gravel, I think that's just ruined it for him. Whereas Lawrence has been able to manage the tyres a little bit better, I think.
He was 30 seconds into the second stint of the race for them, and it ruined their tyres immediately.
Yeah, yeah. And Lawrence has done well to manage it so far and stay where he is, but for Keijo, it's just been disastrous.
Yeah, I have a feeling the stewards might be quite busy tonight.
Yeah, I've seen some stuff that's, yeah, I have a feeling that we're going to see some incidents come in, but hey, that's my job, you know. It's my job.
It's your job. But, what do we say now? Job gets censored everywhere now, doesn't it?
Yeah. Do I just start doing a really bad job so then I can sit there and go, oh no, I'm going to lose my job now. I'm going to lose my job.
Maybe. I mean, it's your job after all. But
oh, here goes Marius Anderson once again. Oh, that jibber jabber, and I completely missed that. He tried for it again into turn 1, just weren't coming on the penultimate lap. Wait, it's the penultimate lap. Oh my word.
Yeah. And round the outside on the older hard tyres, Marius Anderson retakes the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. But can he make it stick? No, he can't. Glitch 10 has the better grip on those mediums as Ghost picks up a 3-second time penalty. Bahrain has crashed out of this Grand Prix up at turn 13 as well. So that is points confirmed for all 10 of these drivers now.
How's he done that then? He's not. He's retired on track. The car's driving. Well, son, you are getting in some deep badoo-doo.
Cutting corners in quali, retiring on track in the race.
Man,
tell he's new.
Man did it in the presence of the head steward.
he doesn't know the threat.
That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna clear my throat and just eyebrows are raised, looking at the screen like.
This fight for the lead is well and truly coming down to the wire here in Sakia. Oh, that was nice. That rhymed. But I have a feeling Marius is close enough to go for the move. Definitely close enough. Closing in at an immense speed here. A rate of knots. Pulling him ahead of the Ferrari into turn 1. Glitched Hen, though. Going to try and line himself up for a better exit. And he's going to have the DRS heading towards turn 4. He's so close behind the McLaren.
Oh, he's had a run.
Who pulls to the inside. And is Glitched Hen able to go around the outside? No, he's not. He's stuck behind the McLaren there. Can he get the better exit once more here, side by side through the chicane? And Marius Anderson, on the old hard tyres, has re-overtaken Glitched Hen for the lead of the race. It was almost an immense start to the season for Ferrari in both of the tiers. But Marius Anderson has spoilt the party.
Absolutely. And they bridged enough of a gap on Ratty, or have they, to make sure that it's a 1-2. I mean, Marius Anderson, I don't know, is he going to keep the win? It's roughly around 3 seconds, 2.2 and an 8/10 gap to Glitched Hen. It's going to be close. Can Glitched Hen do anything in this final few corners?
No matter what, it's a McLaren 1-2, I think.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. And I think Ratty had a poor exit. And that could be it. But Marius Anderson will round the final corner now. And up to the line. It's the McLaren that wins on track. And it's a McLaren 1-2 here in Sakia. As Ratty takes P2.
Wow. Absolute strategic domination. Hako was almost in with that as well, but lines up P4. Boss Moss comes back P5. Jagos from out of nowhere across the line P6, but jumped on a time penalty by his teammate Lorenz, who will finish at P7. We'll get a full finish graphic for you shortly with 5 DNFs. Every driver crossing the line will score a point so far, which is happy for some, but for those that couldn't make it to the checkered flag, disaster. And for one driver in particular, I've got my eye on you, my friend. Well, there we go. PW Jones was in 8th, Cooper Than 9th, and June lining up in 10th. Whereas Baron, Kejo, Marlon Jonas, Hilly, and Julian Prince did not finish at the Grand Prix. Julian Prince had a bit of a disaster. He went flying off the track, took off his front wing. Early retirement for him. No safety car. I've got to say, I'm impressed with that.
I mean, most of that racing, it just seemed like a disaster waiting to happen.
Absolutely. I mean, oh my God, there was some overtakes, some battling all the way through that. That was immense. Insane. And now we'll jump over to our first interviews for Division 1 in Season 4. We'll get you over to the interview room and see if drivers would like to come for a little chat. Let's have a look. Anybody in the waiting room? Let's put out the chat. Interviews. Join waiting room. Well, that was fun. That was fun. A lot of action there in Bahrain. A lot of action in round 1, to say the least. That was interesting. We have that McLaren at 1-2. Good points finish for them straight away into the season. Locking out a 1-2. It's like it's real life, mate. You just see it straight there and then. But other than that, Marius Anderson and Ratty doing very well to get that strategy of a lifetime and finish 1-2. Glitched Hen almost pulled it back to a victory. but finishes P3. I mean, maybe watch out for Glitch 10. He was in the title fight. So here's a bit of history in Off the Line Racing. Season 1 was in the championship fight all the way down to the last round with Leon, but fell short as Leon went on to win that race. So he is a championship contender coming back to contend for a championship again. Is this his time to shine? Is this the season that we'll see Glitch 10 his champion after he did give us a Season 1 championship fight all the way through? What a season that was, I've got to say. It was a good season. The first season of Off the Line Racing in the reboot, it was fantastic. But I'm not seeing anybody in the waiting room for an interview. So, Ryan, I think we can call it here, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, I want to give an honourable, a shout out to Hako, who really just sparked the undercut strat with the mediums to the hards and finished P4 in the end. I know it sounds bad me saying this, but I wish he could have got on the podium. But yeah, P4 still a brilliant result. And also Boss Moss managing to finish P5 for Mercedes. But yeah, what a race. I think I need to lie down.
Yeah, it was. My voice was going a bit there. So we got through it and we started to needing to take a breath. There was just so much action to go over. I was surprised I could keep up with it. It's been a while since I've had to commentate that quick over all that action, but you only see it here. You only see it here. Every season has been hard action all the way through it. It's just incredible to see. But for now, we're done and dusted. Join us next week on Tuesday with Division 2 as they head over to Viva Las Vegas over in the USA, baby. And then you'll see us again, same time, same place, and next week on Wednesday. You don't want to miss it for Las Vegas in Off the Line Racing.